Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Devils in God's Country. I am one of your hosts, Casper Rigsby. It's my lovely, talented, beautiful co-host, Miss Allie Jackson. Say hi, Miss Allie.
Hi.
All right, folks. Tonight we are going to discuss Donald motherfucking Trump, and most importantly, we're going to discuss Donald Trump's latest claim that his supporters would be 100% behind him even if he went out onto Fifth Avenue and shot someone in the fucking face. Um, it's a weird claim. It's a weird claim for any candidate to make. Uh, I don't think any sane candidate would ever claim that. Um, but then again, I don't think Donald Trump is sane, or maybe he is completely sane, and he's just fucking pandering to folks or putting on a show. Fuck, I don't know, man. I've seen clowns before, and like this kind of looks like a clown, but in a really really fucked up way. Sort of like fucking the clowns at rodeos that fucking have bulls chase them around. Um, yeah. So the the whole idea Trump was getting at is that recent surveys have shown that according to um, according to these polls, his supporters are so loyal to him that it doesn't matter what he does, they are still going to support him. So his analogy was that he could actually, his supporters are so loyal that he could go out and shoot a motherfucker in the face on Fifth Avenue in plain broad daylight in front of 50,000 people, and like that wouldn't even stop people from supporting him. They would support him from prison as he sat in prison rotting for outright murder in the middle of the street. Um, And the weird thing is, okay, like I can't actually dispute his claim. That's the fucked up part. Like I can't say no, like you're totally taking this out of context or taking it too far. Like no, his supporters are really that loyal, and they have to be given some of the shit he's already said and done. And they're still just like, yeah, Trump, man, make America great again, woo. It's like, are you even fucking listening to yourself? Like, have you heard you? Like, fuck what Trump says. Have you heard you? Like, it's a weird political climate out there right now, um, especially when we deal with the Republican Party. It's a weird political climate out there for Democrats, honestly, with Bernie Sanders and Hillary. It's just a weird political climate in general. But oh my goodness, the Republican Party, and then to have Donald Trump be the fucking man of the hour for these clowns, it's like wow, wow. I remember when David Duke, who, who used to be a Grand Wizard in the Ku Klux Klan, ran for president, and people were like, okay, yeah, no, sorry, like we agree with some of your ideas, but you used to be a fucking Klansman, and like we don't really feel like you've let go of any of that, so we can't really support you. But now people are like, Donald Trump's just like, hey, let's fucking put badges on Muslims and fucking not allow Muslims into the country and put them in fucking work camps or some shit. And people were like, yeah, that sounds fucking awesome. Let's do that. Like you don't get why that's wrong. You don't get where that's probably a problem. So I don't know, man. People have lost their fucking minds, Miss Ellie, and I think that you probably agree with me on that. But let's hear your take on it.
No, I think that not only have they lost their minds, but Americans just more and more and more are just constantly giving up their rights little by little by forgetting history, forgetting the past, and actually not interpreting what rights we actually have. And Donald Trump is really big on this as well. We know that he doesn't understand the Constitution. When he had an interview with somebody about immigrants who have children in this country and what that makes those children if they're born in this country. So, he doesn't understand the Constitution. He doesn't understand what Americans' rights are, and people are still gung-ho over him. This reminds me of Jesus. Okay, he reminds me of Jesus, or not Jesus, I'm sorry, God, but he's a man on earth, so I say Jesus. He reminds me of God when God is speaking to Satan about Job. And he says, I can do anything to Job, and he's still going to follow me. He's still going to be my faithful son. And that is exactly what the fuck Trump just said. How do people not get this? Okay, he is going to be the president of this country. And he is talking about taking a gun and going out on the fucking street and shooting somebody. And you're still going to follow him? It could be you. He could go and shoot you. And I mean, I understand that he's not going to. But how in the fuck can you even entertain this? How can you allow someone who could even remotely go there? God went there, supposedly. God did this. This is Trump. He is scary. He is the God that everybody hates of the Old Testament. And, I also say he's God because how the fuck is he in this position that he's at? Anyone who talks to me about Trump knows I genuinely feel this is a joke that's gone too far. It has to be. This has to be some sort of ha-ha funny joke. And I feel that at the end of all of this, he's just going to say, ha-ha, kidding. And all of my friends who are Trump supporters are going to be like, ha-ha, you fell for it. And I know that's not going to happen. I know it's not, but that's just how I keep my sanity because I don't get it. I don't understand how America is so duped. I don't understand how we're so stupid. I don't understand that when he makes references to the fucking Holocaust by wanting to mark people with fucking badges to show who they are, we don't understand, hey, this happened once, Hitler. And we're not doing anything. We're just like, oh yeah, great president. Let's make America great again. Make America fucking racist, fucking backwoods 1800s. I don't fucking understand. How are we doing this? What is wrong with people?
Honestly, like I said before we started the show, I think that a lot of people are honestly sitting in their homes and they're looking at Donald Trump and they're listening to what he says and they go, oh, well, I was thinking it and then he said it and now, yeah, that's my boy, and they're really, really out there like that. And they're like, yeah, I wish somebody would have said what I was thinking earlier. But they don't get that you shouldn't have been fucking thinking that. Like that's the bigger issue. It's not even so much what Trump says. It's the fact that you were already thinking that. And the only reason you like Trump is because he feels like he's untouchable enough to fucking say it. And now when he says it, you're like, well, yeah, fucking I support Trump because, he said the crazy shit that I've been thinking for years. Like, maybe we need to address why the fuck you been thinking that. Well, if you honestly believe that Muslims are going to just fucking ruin this country, you need to fucking rethink your entire position on life. Like, you need to take a few history lessons. You need to rethink, like, what religion actually is. And this is the fucked up part, okay? I am very strongly anti-religious. I cannot stand religion, especially Islam. Can't stand Islam. I don't fucking hate Muslims. It's weird, and I know people like CJ Worrellman will tell me, oh, well, no, you're just a fucking Islamophobe. No. I fucking think that Islam itself is a terrible fucking ideology, and I think that if taken seriously, it leads to some horrible shit. That is not a reflection on all Muslims. That's a reflection on Islam as an ideology. And I also understand that fucking the majority of Muslims out there don't actually follow Islam to the fucking letter. If they did, we'd already be fucking dead. There would be no fucking Israel. Like ISIS would be fucking in control and fucking half the world would just be annihilated by now if every Muslim out there agreed with a literal interpretation of Islam. So, eh, like, how is it that people can actually believe that Muslims need to be fucking like, identify themselves or fucking be put in some camp somewhere or any of the other sort of nonsense that we've already learned was just horrible during World War II. We don't even have to talk about Hitler, okay? In the United States during World War II, we started Japanese internment camps in the United States. We put Japanese American citizens into internment camps in the United States. The only difference between our internment camps and the fucking camps that Jews were put into during the Holocaust is that we weren't murdering them. But that's the only difference. We took all of their fucking possessions. We took all of their fucking belongings. We took their businesses. We took everything from them. And when it was all said and done, they didn't get any of that shit back. It's not like we're just trying to protect our interests just in case, because there could be. They didn't get any of that shit back. Please talk to George Takei and see what he lived through as a child, because he grew up in that shit. That's what he went through as a child. And so America is not fucking off the hook in being stupid about how you deal with an issue that could potentially be devastating, and for people to really just jump out there and be like, no, Trump's got the right fucking idea. We can't let Muslims in this country. Dude, I hate to be the one to fucking break it to you, but Islam is the second biggest religion in the United States. That's already a thing. That's already happened. There's Christianity, and then Islam, and then there's fucking nuns, atheists, people that don't believe in shit, and then you got the other smaller groups like Hinduism and stuff, Buddhism. But yeah, Islam's already here. Muslims already live in this fucking country and have lived here for fucking ages. Did you happen to miss the civil rights movement? Did you happen to miss fucking Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X? Did you happen to forget that those men turned to Islam in order to break the bonds of Christianity that was still holding them in slavery and segregation? Did you miss that part of history? Were you fucking absent from school that day? Because I certainly remember that myself. I happen to be well aware that black Muslims in this nation are pretty much the second biggest religious group here. Like that's a real thing, and it's because they realized that Christianity was used to enslave them for years. So they're already fucking here, and guess what? They're not the terrorists that we have to deal with in this country. You know who the terrorists we have to deal with in this country are? Fucking Christians. Fucking Christians. That's the terrorists we have to deal in this country. Motherfuckers like fucking deer who go out and shoot people in Planned Parenthood because Carly Fiorina told him that fucking they were selling baby parts. That's the terrorists we have to fucking deal with. Those are already in our country too, but I don't see anybody telling you that all Christians should have to wear a big cross on their fucking shirt so we can identify them in case they're a fucking problem. I don't see anybody fucking calling for that. Even as an atheist, I wouldn't call for that. That's fucking ridiculous. So it's I don't know. It's insane that people don't understand how stupid they fucking look. That's the thing. Like how uneducated and ignorant they actually look because of agreeing with a man like Trump. It blows my fucking mind.
And aside from the fact that obviously he has a thing against Muslims, he has a thing against Hispanics as well, right? We all know that he despises, for some reason, our Latino group here in America, and he does not want any more immigrants coming over from Mexico. He wants to spend all of our money making sure that our borders are outrageously secure from anyone entering or exiting. And again, here's where the people who just agree with this, right on, you're fucking forgetting history. Okay, you're fucking forgetting why this country is here, what our country stands for, who we are. You're absolutely forgetting all of that shit for your own absolute racist biases. So we know Trump hates Muslims. We know Trump hates our Hispanic group here. We know that he's absolutely a racist fuck. We know that also he hates women. Okay, and if anyone who follows along on Trump on Twitter, you know that he absolutely hates women. You can fact check this. I had to do a fact check to make sure before we did this show, and I spoke about this part of his hatred, one of the small slices in his hatred pie, women. I wanted to make sure I was absolutely telling the facts here, but no, he has absolutely on numerous times attacked women for their looks. And this is something that Casper and I have actually talked about here on our show about why maybe atheist women aren't out there and in the game as much because the world is just obsessed with attacking women for their looks. Here's the leader of our country, right? The man that we say can make America great again is out there calling women pigs, fatso, terrible, disgusting names. It's horrible. I think I still actually have it pulled up, and I would absolutely hate to sit here and read this verbatim. But yeah, disgusting animal, slobs, dogs, fat pigs. These are just some of the things that he has called women. And while he tried to deny it recently, the facts have been checked here, sir. No, you absolutely have taken those insults against women. And so you know, I look at who he hates. And he hates a huge portion of America and who we are. Women, 50% right off the bat. Okay, so any Trump voter that's a woman, you make as much sense to me as a Christian woman. Okay, it's just you're supporting something that hates you, and I don't get that. So if I look at who could be a Trump supporter, and I look at my friends list to see who could be a Trump supporter, I'm seeing a lot of white males. I don't just looking at who he hates. That should be the only group that likes him is white males. And if you're a part of this piece that he hates, I really hope that you can do a little bit of fact checking and look into the things he wants to do with you or the way he speaks about you. And see if that's really somebody that you want to be the leader of your country. This is multiple history lessons forgotten, rolled up into one cotton candy haired man. I don't understand how we're not taking this as a joke. I don't. And it's, I'm not sitting here trying to attack his looks. I know that's absolutely, but I'm drunk. I've got horse hay hair. There you go. So it's just, he's ridiculous to me. And he's ridiculous because he is just an absolute pompous asshole. He reminds me of Old Testament God. And the more I have to see him in my newsfeed, the more I have to see him with his little girl dancers, being his cheerleaders, telling the boys to go get him and all that stuff. It's a constant reminder to me of how much hate this man spews and how much America is so fucking gutless and so ignorant to fact and ignorant to history that we're just letting him lead the way. Lead the way, guy. I'm a racist fuck, and I sit here and I agree with you. I want my borders closed. I want my Americans. I want my guns. Go ahead and get rid of those Latinos. Get rid of those Muslims. Get rid of the women too. Let's do that, right? Let's go ahead and get rid of everyone he hates. And then you guys can just sit around like a little South Park episode, fucking each other in one big, gigantic mound. Die off. I don't know, but it's ridiculous to me. If you're not a white racist fuck with a penis, I have no idea how you are possibly a Trump supporter.
And honestly, I know there are some people out there who are gonna say, okay, well, look, the one thing about Trump that really attracts me is that he's not in the system. He's not an established politician, and I'm just trying to get away from the fucking establishment and the status quo. Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, I get you. I totally fucking get you. I feel you 100% on that. Except for the idea of Donald Trump being the guy that you're fucking supporting there. And I think what people don't understand is like, yeah, the establishment is pretty fucked up. And we do need to move away from what we're used to having. I get that. And I agree with it. I agree with it fully. And that's why I support Bernie Sanders. That's exactly why I support Bernie Sanders. And you're going to say, oh, well, Bernie Sanders is an established politician, you know, like he's part of the fucking problem. Well, no, not really. I mean, he is an established politician, but the thing is, he's never been part of the status quo, really. Like that's not his thing. And the ideas that he's running on right now are certainly not part of the status quo. Like I can look at someone right now and tell them I'm an atheist, and they're like, ew. If I tell them I'm a fucking socialist, it's beyond ooh. Like they're wanting to fist fight me because I told them I'm a socialist. And they're like, you fucking commie bastard, piece of shit, motherfucker. Fuck you. Your socialism bullshit. You just want to fucking steal from us and give to everybody else and all this other crazy shit. And I'm like, dude, do you want us to succeed as a race? Like for me, it's beyond America, and that's the bigger problem. Like somebody like Trump, you have to understand if somebody like Trump becomes the president of the United States, that's not just the United States fucking problem. That's the entire fucking planet's problem. That affects everyone on this entire fucking planet. You know, like who we put into office has an effect on everyone on this planet. I know that that seems like an arrogant, egotistical thing to say, but it's actually a factually true statement because the United States has influence, and the things that we do have influence over every single person on this planet. So when we put somebody in office who's like, fuck all Muslims, I have to be worried that, like, oh shit, like that's not cool. I don't fucking like Islam at all, and yet I'm sitting here trying to go, hey man, if you're a moderate Muslim, let's discuss how we could possibly reform Islam. If you are so dead set on keeping it, let's figure out how we can fix it and make sure that people like ISIS no longer exist because like that's fucked up. But seriously, let's work together. I'm not trying to take anything away from you, but you know, hey, shit needs to change. But when you've got a person like Trump who's out there and is like, yeah, fucking no Muslims allowed in this country, it's like, son of a bitch, man, you're ruining everything. You're fucking it up for everybody, dude. You're just totally poisoning the well. Um, and as a leader of this country, one of your biggest tasks is to open the lines of communication and diplomacy. Okay. And if you think that Donald Trump has any idea what diplomacy is, you've lost your fucking mind. That man has no clue what fucking diplomacy is. That man believes that he is a bulldozer and he can just fucking plow over folks. That's his idea. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm a bulldozer. I'll just plow over them.
Right? From or shoot him.
Yeah. So you know, I I get not wanting more of the status quo. I totally get that. So let's discuss not voting in any more fucking assholes from the Christian right. Let's discuss that to start with, because that will help to end the status quo. Let's discuss trying to vote in people who are not backed by fucking corporations, banks, and fucking the oil companies. Let's discuss that. You want to get away from the status quo? Let's discuss people like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, people that throughout their careers have not been bought and paid for. Maybe those are the people that we need to talk to about how we end the fucking total overtaking of our country by corporations and fucking banks and Wall Street and all these huge these huge organizations that honestly just run everything. I don't think that I can vote a president into office. I believe that fucking presidents are bought and paid for. I honestly believe that senators and congressmen are bought and paid for. I don't think I can vote them in. So yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that another problem too is the presidency on the Republican side is turned into a huge godfest. In all honesty, we look at the pictures that Ben Carson released of his house, and we look at pictures of a Jesus over his shoulder with him, and this is in his house. We look at his Bible quote up in his house with Proverbs spelled incorrectly. By the way, that's really embarrassing. But what we look at the way they just put God front and center. I'm a Christian. Look at Ted Cruz. I'm a Christian first. I'm an American second. And I'm to the point where I'm like, American people, do you not fucking see that they are playing you because they think you are so goddamn stupid that you are going to vote for America's #1 best Christian? That's exactly what they're doing. They're fawning over it. Just every single chance they get, every opportunity they have to throw how big of a Christian they are out there. Because didn't that used to be like or is it still the biggest criteria for being a president? We've had like one Catholic, maybe two. I don't know. Maybe my history is bad. But it's a huge criteria here to be a Christian, and this plays on your ignorance. It does. It plays on your. They say, okay, the average American Joe or Jane wants a Christian because they're a Christian, and the biggest Christian will win. We've seen kind of a history here. Mike, is it Mike Huck? No. Who's the guy who's a Mormon? What's his name? Do you remember? I don't know. There's a Mormon out there. Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney. Boom. Mitt Romney, Mormon, ran, and a lot of people say that he lost due to his non-traditional Christian stance. So, after that loss, I feel like these Republicans this time are just gung-ho on that, every single religious belief they are going to stand behind. Absolutely zero abortions. I won't sleep until all abortions are gone. And you know what? Okay, can I go off on that for a little bit? On how we have defunded Planned Parenthood. Bravo, we have just killed ourselves, because we all know that abortion really is the cure to poverty. Okay, if every responsible woman could say, hey, I can't afford this child, sucks that I made a mistake. Okay, no one's sitting here saying that I should have used protection. No one was bigger than me, but I can't afford to raise this kid, feed this kid, clothe this kid, get it its medical insurance, all this shit that's required to be a responsible adult. I can't afford to do it, so I'm going to go pay the $500 to get an abortion. We've stopped that successfully for the majority of women in a lot of states right now, especially in Texas. Sucks. It just sucks. And then we're going to bitch when they go off and want WIC. And we're going to bitch when they go off and want food stamps, because they already fucking said they couldn't afford the goddamn child, and we already forced them to have it anyways. So yay, all of our Republican candidates want to end all of these abortions for women, end our freedom, and just keep us fucking in poverty. Congratulations. Thanks for this Christian moral thing that you have going on. You don't want to help the women when they come to you for help. You want to take away all these programs. You want to take away food for women. You want to take away the women, infants, children programs. You want to reduce all of these costs to help these women, and then you want to take their abortions away too. So congratulations, fucktards, for doing just an absolute fantastic job of keeping us down. Absolutely just amazing. I've never seen just such a strong-willed group of people just rushing through to really make sure women stay barefoot and pregnant. But congratulations. And you know, we have these men just fighting over it. I got a flyer in the mail the other day about a guy who said, basically said all this. Bill something, I don't know, he's a Texan. He's not running for presidency, obviously, but he is a Republican, strong Republican. And he's, you know, I will not stop until Texas is abortion free. No abortions for anyone. So we're back in the what, coat hanger days, where we make a mistake. What if it's your sister? What if it's your wife? What if it's your, you know, your aunt, your whoever who has to fucking go to some back alley abortionist with a coat hanger now for our great Christian morals that we're keeping in this country? So it sucks. It sucks that here we are. We've got this huge group of people that is the majority in America, our Christian majority. And we've got these people that are just playing to that advantage. You know, if you're dumb enough to sit here and believe in a fucking Sky Daddy, you're dumb enough to believe in any of these lies they're spitting out at you. You're dumb enough to not fucking see the truth right in front of your face. And it's sad to me, and it's pathetic, and it's just aggravating to have an entire party devoted to taking advantage of weak-minded people who can't think for themselves, people who would rather sit back and just, yeah, whoever sounds better. Of course Trump is winning. He's a fucking actor. He knows how to sell things to the American public. Of course he's popular. And it's so frustrating. It is absolutely frustrating. Do I believe that he can take a gun right now out onto the street and kill somebody and still win everybody over? Absolutely. Because I honestly am starting to believe people are too ignorant or too self-involved to see the truth in anything that's going on right now.
You know, for me, the thing is this, and to touch on what you're discussing, I want to talk about the idea of mutually exclusive ideas. Okay, if you want to tell me that abortion should be illegal, you have to turn around and say we need sex education. If you can't see that those ideas need to be, you know, in tandem in order for this to work, if you want to do away with abortion, you have to educate people on sexual education and how that they should be using condoms and using protection. You can't sit here and tell me that abstinence only is the fucking way to go. I'm going to tell you that your state of Texas is one of the biggest preachers of abstinence only, and I'm also going to tell you that it's one of the biggest states in this nation that has a teen pregnancy problem. So obviously, abstinence only ain't fucking working. So what do? You don't want abortions? Okay, I get you. You don't. You think that's a human life at conception, and so you don't want to kill it. Okay, let me say that I agree with you, and I don't. In all literal, in all literal understanding, I don't agree with you. But let's say for a moment I do agree with you. How do we end abortion and yet still preach abstinence only? Dude, one of your huge fucking, goddamn figureheads was fucking Josh Duggar. And what was Josh Duggar doing? Was he practicing abstinence only? Was he practicing sex within his marriage only? No, of course not. Josh Duggar was out there strangling fucking prostitutes and fucking porn stars. That's what Josh Duggar was out there fucking doing. And his wife is so fucking indoctrinated by the idea that a good wife stands by her husband no matter what, that she sat here and said, well, I'm gonna stand by him even though he was out here fucking doing crazy shit with goddamn porn stars, because that's what a good Christian woman does. And I'm like, you know what, when you fucking get AIDS and he gets AIDS, I don't feel sorry for you, not in the fucking least, because you're an idiot. You're a fucking moron. That's what a good Christian woman does. She stands by her fucking man. No, you're an idiot. That's what the fuck you are. You're an idiot who has been so indoctrinated with the Christian faith that you believe in order to be a good wife, you have to stand by a fucking absolute asshat like fucking Josh Duggar. Like that's where your fucking life is at, and it's terrible. You know, you can't have one without the other. That's the entire idea of mutually inclusive and mutually exclusive ideas, is that some things either have to have a secondary part to them, or some things won't work together. That's the idea behind that. So you can't say I don't want abortions ever at all, period, and then say we shouldn't educate our children on sexual responsibility and how to be responsible adults as sexual beings. You can't have those two together. It just it doesn't work, because then you get teen pregnancies and now you're stuck with all of these kids. And the weird thing for me is a lot of these men that will complain about fucking abortion are also the same men that complain about having to pay child support on a kid that they didn't fucking want. Oh, you're supposed to have equal rights. Okay, cool. You're supposed to have equal rights. So you should be able to choose whether or not she gets an abortion too if you don't want to fucking pay child support on that kid. Okay. Hey, we'll go that route. And now what? Abortion's illegal. So you can't even do that. Now you're stuck paying child support that you don't want to fucking pay. This woman is stuck raising a baby that she can't afford to fucking raise, and she's going to look to you and go, well, you helped me make it, so hey, give me my money. And now you're going to bitch because you're sitting in jail because you couldn't pay your fucking child support. Now, how fucking stupid does that sound? That sounds absolutely stupid, when you could have fucking paid for her abortion and then that whole thing is just fucking done. I get not liking abortion. I don't like abortion. It's like saying I love shark attacks. you know, like people who say I love abortion, I feel like that's a weird fucking thing to say. Like, why would anybody say I don't love abortion? Why would I love abortion? No, I fucking hate abortion. Like that whole idea, like, oh, that emotionally, that really just upsets me. But at the same time, like, I'm not gonna be like, well, fuck it, that's how it is. Like that just seems ignorant as shit to me. Like I don't get it. I'm lost.
And that's another thing too, is I don't like abortion either. I think it sucks. I think that it's too, especially due to the stigma that's around it. I think it's too traumatic for a woman. I don't know personally, but I can only imagine that it would just be outrageously traumatic for any woman, and that makes me very sad. So I don't like abortion, but I do like the fact that it does allow a woman to have a chance. It allows a woman to choose. It allows a woman to stay out of poverty. Let's say she already has 2 children and 3 is just going to break her bank. In order to have an abortion and save her other 2 children and save and preserve the lifestyle. If this is about some sort of punishment, I don't think you understand how traumatic that already is for a woman, okay? The abortion is punishment enough. To bring a life into this world to teach her a lesson, well, you should have used a condom. Congratulations. So now we have a baby that's unwanted, brought into this world. We have a mother that can't afford to pay for it. We have a government system who tells her she's lazy and she needs to work more to afford this baby that she didn't fucking want in the first place. So it just seems to me like this is some sort of punishment factor. Well, you shoulda. Well, you shoulda. And it's like, you know what? I went through Texas sex ed, and no one ever told me that I should have used a condom. The only thing I was ever told is that I should have cut my legs shut. And got to be honest with you, it doesn't work for most people. So, we threaten with hell, we threaten with hell, we threaten with hell. And good God, I was such a good little girl because I was so fucking scared of hell when I died. And I was so scared of sex. I was terrified of penises, didn't want one near me because it meant hell. And that was traumatic. Can you imagine how traumatic that aspect is? When finally I'm a married woman and all of a sudden, hey, I'm supposed to give in to my man, I'm supposed to do my womanly duties, and I've spent my life terrified of penises. That's pretty fucked up, right? So the extremes that this side tends to gravitate to is just wrong on so many levels. And like you said, there has to be some sort of give. Okay, so you take away our abortions. Can we teach our girls the different contraceptives they can use? Can we teach them about the sponge? Can we teach them about condom use? No, we can't teach them about that. So we have to teach them to be good little cherry girls until they're married. And, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because our parents were probably pregnant before they were married. Okay, I know for a fact mine was. She wouldn't admit to it, but absolutely, she did not get fucking pregnant on her wedding night. Okay, and we've got these women. My aunts were pregnant before they were married. My grandmother was pregnant before she was married, and we're still gonna stick to this. Keep your legs closed as some sort of birth control. And I know I'm not the only one that came from a family like that. I believe that there are too many people out there that came from a family like that. And what's wrong with that? What was wrong with a woman enjoying sex? Nothing wrong with a woman enjoying sex. I've been actually really pissed off lately over my newsfeed where I see atheists just doubling down on Bristol Palin. Oh, this slut, this advocate for abstinence. Look at her, pregnant twice before she's not even married, pregnant twice. I get it. She's a hypocrite. Congratulations, atheists. We found out she's a hypocrite. No fuck, right? I mean, anyone who practices the preaching of abstinence clearly is ignorant and doesn't understand how the sexual drive works, especially in horny teens. But to take a woman and constantly berate her because she's enjoying sex, to me, it is, there's a better way to point out her hypocrisy. Let's not sit here and call her a whore. Let's not call her a slut. Let's not slut shame her for doing this. I feel sad for her. I feel sad because I feel that she probably, not saying that she wanted it, not saying that she had to do it, but I'm almost positive that she did not have the option for an abortion due to the indoctrination in how she was raised. I am almost positive that Bristol's only option when she fucked up was to have this baby. It's her punishment. And I'm positive she doesn't look at her kids that way. I'm sure she loves them. I'm sure she's going to raise them great. She's got a rich mom and dad, okay? So she's better off than the majority of people, young ladies in our country who are getting knocked up as we speak. But the indoctrination that she tried giving the country, and the indoctrinate is the same indoctrination she was given growing up, okay? This was supposed to work, but guess what, honey? It doesn't work. And you see it doesn't work. And what's even more sad is she probably couldn't even choose abortion as an option for her. That is just an absolute utter sin, and she couldn't do it. And so it's sad. Okay, is she a whore? I don't believe in slut shaming a young woman who enjoyed sex. I think she's a victim, I think she's a victim of everything that she was trying to teach everybody in this country, and she is absolutely a victim of this Christian notion that, and it is, because there's absolutely no secular reason to be against abortion, aside from the fact that you just don't like it. This Christian notion that abortion is murder, and she has just been indoctrinated into it. And so yes, Bristol had another baby, and if it hadn't been for that indoctrination, you probably wouldn't have known it to be sitting here calling her a whore today. So, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating to me. Casper, what do you have to think about that?
Well,
Well,
first off,
um,
I want to tell you that as a heterosexual male, I find penises very scary. and I think it's not an unnatural reaction for any woman to find a penis scary, and the idea that a man wants to stick that in her to be scary, I think that should be a scary thing. Like, I love all my homosexual friends. I get it. Like, you're attracted to people of the same sex. That's totally cool. I have no problem with that. But like, yeah, if you tell me you want to stick your penis in me, I find that a little bit intimidating and scary. So I think every woman should be a little bit intimidated by that. But it for me, it comes back to the Christian right, and people like fucking Mike Huckabee and fucking Ted Cruz. Donald Trump is a caricature of a comic book that was horribly fucking written. Like, we should be sitting back and laughing at Donald Trump. I get that. But it's not like his viewpoint is something new and original. It isn't. It's something that he's adopted because that's what he knows the Christian right wants to hear from him. He knows that they want to hear, oh, well, if you're a Christian, you're a fucking awesome person. No, you're fucking not. No, you're fucking not. Mm-mm. If you're an awesome person, you're an awesome person. Period. And just because you're a Christian, that doesn't make you an awesome person. Josh Duggar claims to be a Christian out the fucking wazoo, and that's not an awesome fucking person. If you look up to him as a role model, you're a fucking idiot. You've lost your fucking mind. Are you kidding me? Dude, Larry Flint is a fucking more moralistic and upstanding human being than Josh Duggar. Okay? And Larry Flint kind of is a fucked up individual, but at the same time, if you want to compare two individuals, at least he's fucking honest. Oh my god, at least he's honest enough to say, you know what, I love pussy, and I love seeing pussy, and I think other people love seeing pussy, and here's some pussies. Look at this. And like, you don't necessarily have to enjoy that, but you gotta at least admit, hey man, this motherfucker's honest. Josh Duggar, on the other hand, is out here fucking putting out ads on goddamn fucking cheaters websites, for people who want to cheat as married fucking individuals. And people are like, well, he made a mistake. Like, okay, I get you. People make fucking mistakes. That's fine. Like, call it a fucking mistake if you will. But don't say that I'm supposed to emulate him in his ideals when he can't even fucking live up to them. There's a reason he couldn't fucking live up to them. Dude, I'm a married man, and there's still times where I look at women and I'm just like, oh my god, I wonder what it'd be like to fuck her. It's because we're sexual fucking beings. Human beings are sexual fucking creatures. Like, how can you not get that? Like, that happens. That's a thing. That's why our species still exists on this fucking planet. If people were like, well, no, I'm just doing this because, I'm supposed to continue the human race, I don't think we'd be here. Like, I honestly don't. So it's weird to me, but it's like I said, Donald Trump is a caricature of a fucking cartoon that is just it's like the most fucked up and fucking retarded goddamn cartoon you've ever seen, and like Donald Trump is emulating that shit. Honestly, I'm not even sure he fucking believes half the shit that comes out of his fucking mouth. I'm really not. I don't think even he really believes that shit. He's pandering. He's pandering to a group of people that want to believe that shit. And the question is, why do you want to believe that shit? Like, is life so fucked up for you that you have to believe in this crazy shit in order for life to have some sort of meaning and purpose for you? And the reality is, like, Donald Trump probably is never going to become president. And I say probably because I don't know, man. This country's gone fucking insane. But at the same time, people like Ted Cruz or Mike Huckabee have an actual chance of becoming president. And they honestly believe the shit that Donald Trump is spouting out. Um, and they're trying to hide the fact that they believe that. They're trying to obfuscate it to some degree and make it look pretty and something that's happy and enjoyable to accept because Christianity, mm, and I don't fucking buy that for one bit. The idea that someone being a Christian makes them a moral person is absolutely asinine to me. Christianity doesn't make you moral. Islam doesn't make you moral. Fucking Hinduism doesn't make you moral. Even Buddhism, like, that's not going to make you a more moralistic and ethical person. Having an understanding of what the fuck ethics are and why you should have a logical understanding of being an ethical person, that makes you a moral person. Um, so it goes beyond Trump, and I'm currently working on a book called Patriotism, and that's what I'm working on right now, and really trying to show people what the Christian right, which has taken over the Republican Party, is all about. It's about hatred and fear and, like, who can be the biggest God fearing douchebag out there when all that says is you don't believe in equality, justice, or have any idea of what ethics are. You know? Oh my goodness. No, Miss Allie just asked me if she used the term retards, and I no, I don't think you used retards. I think you said fucktard, which is, yeah, honestly, we've been trying to debate on whether we should use the word fucktard at all because it ties into retardation. But I I kind of see the idea of using fucktard. Like, every time I get a little lubricated, I think, yeah, that guy's a fucktard, man. What the fuck is wrong with that dude? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll let you have it again, Allie.
I've been trying so hard to get away from using that term, and I'm so sorry if I've offended anyone tonight. I've been trying to go over what I just spouted out in my head, and towards the end of the show, Casper and I typically get a little bit more loopy, a little bit more loose. But today I started early, so I might have gotten a little too loose, and not that that's ever an excuse to use poor terminology, but certainly don't want to offend anybody if I used an inappropriate non-PC word. So definitely want to say I'm sorry, but there was something else that I wanted to say about what you were going on about. First of all, the fear of penises, you're absolutely right. Everyone should be afraid of penises. I think, but even though that fear is long gone, obviously, yeah, at first I think everyone should fear a penis once in their life. But it really does. You're right. It absolutely comes down to the Christian right. I don't think that Trump is the worst. Even though I have very strong opinions and I'm very obviously very passionate about the things that he stands for. Mike Huckabee is the one that absolutely terrifies me the most. I think I've said that before when I referred to him as Hitler on this show before as well. But he is scary, and I said this once before to a friend of mine who was having a little bit of problems understanding the difference of pose. People who are outrageously good at satire. They do pose. You can't tell if they're being real or not. And I said there's great genius and there's great stupidity and having an awesome pose. And the genius behind it is you can absolutely outline and flash to people how stupid an idea is. We do it with religion all the time. Christians Against Dinosaurs is a very good example of a perfect Poe. And the creator is one who does not break character. She's a genius. She gets notoriety. She's got money for her position in the Christians Against Dinosaurs. And she gets to outline how absolutely stupid some thought processes are, right? This is what she does. It is a genius Poe. But the scary and sad part of it is we have a group of people who are just very manipulated into anything they find fascinating. Your idea intrigues me. Let me subscribe to your newsletter, Homer Simpson. We have these people in our society, and they see Christians Against Dinosaurs, and they say, you know what? She might be onto something here. So now we've got this great Poe. A great way to point out the stupidity and some of the thought processes in Christianity. But then we have some people who actually start to buy into the Christians Against Dinosaurs, right? They say, yes, I am starting to see where this is coming from. And that's when things go awry. And that's kind of, the fear with Mike Huckabee to me. Especially with Donald Trump coming out here, as Casper was saying, Donald Trump is a caricature. We laugh at him all the time. The things that he says are just too unreal. No one can possibly hate this many people. It's just too unreal. But then we've got Mike Huckabee who's like, wait a minute. This guy's already put it out there. I kind of agree with this. Let's see where we can go with this. He did the same thing with Kim Davis. If we see a law we don't like, we shouldn't have to follow it. And it's this scary mindset where this man just travels around the internet, travels around different things that are going on. And when he sees something that he kind of agrees with, he tries to just change it and manipulate it into an original thought. And it's scary and it's dangerous. So he to me is one of the more dangerous people. Trump is definitely more of a caricature, but it's altogether it's dangerous. Altogether, the whole system, the whole party, anyone who supports these people, you're doing us a great injustice. And please, I just encourage you, pick up a history book, read about what happened during the Holocaust, read about who was marked with a sign so that we could see who they were, and it wasn't just Jews. All right, so there you go. There's a little bit of a forewarning in your history research there. It wasn't just the Jews. Other people were marked as well. So let's look into that. Let's review our history, and then let's all be terrified together about these horrible, disgusting things that Trump is saying. Please. And Casper, I will give it back to you.
Okay, so those people out there who read my books, who follow my blogs, all that good shit, you're gonna know two pretty clear things about me. Number one, I'm not looking for notoriety. If you agree with something I say, please agree with it on your own fucking terms. If you don't agree with something I say, please fucking tell me. Let me fucking know. The second thing that you'll know about me if you followed me at all is that Um, I honestly, there's one thing I have, and only one thing I have in common with Donald Trump, and that's that I don't give two shits about being politically correct. And I'm going to tell you right now, Donald Trump is a fucktard. Okay, point blank, plain as fucking day. That dude's a fucktard. Mike Huckabee, Ted Cruz, Carly Fiorino, Ben Carson, those people are dangerous. They're not fucktards. They're dangerous. And they're dangerous for one reason and one reason alone. They actually fucking believe the insane bullshit that they're spouting off to you. They honestly fucking believe it. They're not playing up to you. They're not selling a line to you. They fucking believe it. If you think Mike Huckabee doesn't believe what he fucking says, look at what he lives. That son of a bitch lives what the fuck he preaches. He lives hatred. He lives fear. He doesn't just sell it. He's not selling you some line of bullshit like what you're going to honestly get from Trump, which is honestly a line of bullshit. He really fucking believes it. You know, I I hope that a lot of the people that watch this show and a lot of the people that follow me or fucking have anything to do with what I do out there, I hope that you're as big of geeks and nerds as I am, and I kind of hope you've seen the movie Serenity, and I want you to understand who people like Mike Huckabee and Ted Cruz really are. They're true believers. They can't be bought. They can't be sold. They can't be reasoned with. They are true believers. And it's the most dangerous and deadly thing that you can ever experience in your life is to come up against a true believer, because they won't back down. You can't reason with them. You can't talk to them. You can't change their viewpoints. They honestly and truly believe that what they're doing is the right thing, no matter how wrong they are. And that's dangerous. I don't care if you're an atheist. I don't care if you're a Christian, a Muslim. If you truly believe that you are incapable of being incorrect, you're fucking dangerous. I'm fully capable of being incorrect. And if you can show me to be wrong, please do it. Please tell me. And I will adjust myself accordingly. But when you come up against a true believer that can't be swayed, that can't be talked to, that can't be reasoned with, you're dealing with something that is beyond your capability to understand. And it's beyond your capability of actually fighting against. I hope that some people have seen this broadcast and they will say, hey, I want to know more about what's going on here. I want to know more about this thing. And my newest book, Patriotism, will be out March the 1st. And yes, I'm fucking selling it. And yes, I make a profit off of it. Because, I got to feed my fucking family. But if you honestly want more information about this, it's all going to be in there. I lay it out as plain as fucking day. And it's been a struggle for me to even write this, because every time I look through and I try to offer fucking actual factual sources about the things that I'm saying about these people, I sit here and I have to fucking just lose my mind over dealing with it, over dealing with the reality of what these people actually believe and what they say, and how dangerous that is. Um, and the whole point in writing this book is so that people might actually have a decent understanding about what you're fighting against. We need activists. We need people who are willing to raise their voices and speak out and say, this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. And I can tell you why it's wrong. Here are all the reasons why this is fucking wrong. Please stop supporting this. Please stop supporting people that get into office and they cause us to lose our rights as citizens in this country and to lose our rights as human beings. There's a reason that the term human rights exists, and it's because as a human being, you should have certain rights. Everyone, everyone on this planet, no matter where the fuck you're born, no matter what the fuck you were born into, you deserve basic human fucking rights. And the more we put people in charge who can violate those rights and who can take it unto themselves to dictate what those rights actually mean, the more we lose those rights. To close out our conversation tonight, I want to point out something that was shared by a very dear friend of mine, Dan Arrow, who writes for Danthropology on Pathos and has some very wonderful books, and another new one coming out in November. And Dan has been fighting with Ken Ham over the Ark Encounter um, museum. This is not a fucking museum. It's a goddamn amusement park, the same as the Creation Museum in Kentucky that he runs and owns, in part with AIG, the Answers in Genesis organization. And Dan has been fighting against this because this organization has put out job offers to people and has said that you have to agree to a Christian viewpoint and sign a letter of agreement that says that you agree with young Earth creationism and that the Earth is only 6,000 years old or 6 to 10,000 years old, whatever the fuck they want to fucking say from day to day. It changes variously. But anyway, this is a for-profit organization that has said that only Christians can be a part of um, their workforce there, and yet it's a for-profit organization. He expects to make money off this, and he is not willing to follow the equal opportunity employment clause and laws in this country that say that if you're going to offer employment to people as a for-profit organization, you have to be willing to offer employment to all people without restriction. And he expects to get a tax kickback from taxpayers, not only in Kentucky, but throughout the rest of the world, because they still receive federal funding. So within this entire country, all of your taxes are going to pay for this man to build a fucking supposed replica of a fictional boat that will be landlocked in the state of Kentucky so that he can show you that supposedly some crazy motherfucker was talked to God and he had two of every animal on his fucking crazy ass boat that is smaller than the Titanic. Uh, we won't even get into how fucking ridiculous that entire idea is. But Dan has been fighting against this, and it's all part of the Christian right. And it's all part of their introduction of people into a position of power where they can put their personal beliefs above the rights of the citizens of this nation. And now a federal judge has agreed that this project should receive federal funding and federal tax exemptions, um, even though they are not following the Equal Opportunity Employment Act because, religious fucking liberty, which is entirely different from religious freedom. And Dan has been a huge advocate for religious freedom, but that means actual religious freedom. And that fucking kills Ken Ham and all his cronies. And their bullshit is built on the idea of religious liberty, which means that which honestly it translates out to Christian exceptionalism in this country. Um, and that's part of the problem. We have to stop putting these fucktards into office and letting them dictate how our lives are run. We got to stop it. Enough is enough. All right, so to close out, and yeah, I went long because I'm a little drunk here, and this really upsets me. But to close out, as usual, the viewpoints expressed here by myself and Miss Allie are not necessarily the viewpoints of all people involved in the atheist public. If you have any problem or argument against viewpoints that we've expressed here, please direct them at myself and Miss Allie. My name is Casper Rigsby. Um, According to Facebook, my name is Jason Rigsby. Uh, please look me up. If you fucking hate what I'm doing or what I'm saying, please let me know. I don't hide behind any fake names or any bullshit. So, yeah, come get me. Um, but these are our viewpoints, and they do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of all members of the Atheist Republic. We have a large group of people that work with this organization, and we can't speak for all of them. So, if you enjoy the things we're doing here, if you enjoy the Atheist Republic and the community that we're trying to build, please support us in any way possible. If you want to make your voice heard, please visit atheistrepublic.com and join us as a volunteer. Like, we'll make sure that your voice gets heard. That's what we do in building a community. We want to have everybody's voice be part of that community. This has been another episode of The Devils in God's Country, and fuck you, Donald Trump, you're a fucktard. And fuck you, Mike Huckabee, Ted Cruz, Carly Fiorino, and Ben Carson. You are dangerous individuals that should probably be locked away somewhere. And in a better society, we would lock you away somewhere. But hey, freedom and all that good shit. So, this has been another episode of Devils in God's Country, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.